afternoon, netizens from CCTV and CGTN. Right now, I'm at Shenzhen Intermediate People's Court. And this is the Court for Intellectual Property Laws. And today is the day for pronouncing judgment in the case of Chinese tech giant Huawei suing South Korea's Samsung for violating intellectual property rights. And this case experienced 2 years to come to today's judgment. If you're just tuning in, and today we are giving you the live streaming from Shenzhen Intermediate People's Court, and today is the day for pronouncing judgment in the case of Chinese tech giant Huawei suing ROK's major Samsung for violating intellectual property rights. And we know for the three giants, Huawei, Samsung, and Apple, always filed the lawsuit case in patent violation. And today is the day to pronounce the judgment. And Huawei filed a lawsuit saying Samsung violates the intellectual property rights of Huawei by illegally use Huawei's patent. Actually, this is not the first lawsuit case between these two giants. Back to 2016, actually, there is a lawsuit case between these two, and Huawei actually sued Samsung for its Chinese subsidiaries for patent infringement and also asked for compensation. And not only in China, they also sued Samsung in the United States. And back then, Huawei claimed that more than 20 models of Samsung smartphones and tablet products have infringed Huawei's patents and asked all of them should remove from the shelf. So the judgment back then was the first of series of lawsuits filed by the Chinese tech giant. The Shenzhen Intermediate People's Court. And right now we are seeing the live picture from Shenzhen Intermediate People's Court, and the judge is pronouncing the final result in the case of Huawei suing Samsung for patent infringement, violating intellectual property laws. And originally, Huawei would like to solve the case through arbitration. And the arbitration between these two is mainly focused on solve the patent infringement. Huawei is saying that Samsung is illegally use Huawei's patent for the smartphones. And We're saying the judge is pronouncing the judgment on the case between Samsung and Huawei.
It has given the quotation to Huawei Firstly, in the quotation from Huawei to Samsung, according to the evidence we gathered as to the licensing charges under the standards of 3G and the other patents requirements, the 3G global standard has taken some proportion by Samsung, and the accumulated licensing of the 3G standards of Huawei it takes about 6% to 8% of the 3G. According to the quotation of the charges, Huawei, before lodging a petition in our court against Samsung, from the fourth to sixth quotation, the term has been changed to 4GX. (4G cell phones), and between the two different quotations, they have calculated the price difference. And based on the standard charges of X, it gets the final price for the first licensing of the X products. And based on the above-mentioned facts, our court declares that Huawei, as the standard patent holder, the quotation given by Huawei to Samsung, including the licensing charge and the licensing charge of each cell phone, in 2005, on July the 20th, Samsung has given a response to Huawei. The licensing charges in the quotation includes the following. it has decided on X% of the revenues from the certain licensed products will needs to be shared. In conclusion, according to the cross-negotiation between the two parties, we analyze the procedural problems and the entities we believe that the actions of Huawei conform to the actual condition, while on the part of Samsung, it's not very conformant. Thirdly, as to the technical facts of this case, firstly, as to whether defendants have infringed upon the patents, in the case, the plaintiffs enjoy the rights in 2011-10269. In the case, the plaintiffs protect the rights of the patents, including the range, as following. In China, the production and sales of the terminal products by the defendant, it will certainly involve the patents. Therefore, in 2015, on the date of July 29th, the plaintiff has gained the rights of the patent, and the defendant, without the consent of the plaintiff, has infringed upon the rights of the plaintiff. Secondly, as to the defendant's case, our court believes that the defendants asking about the legality is not grounded. the behavior of selling some of the product in case the patent rights of the plaintiff has been infringed upon. Our court believes that the grant of the plaintiffs about the standard necessary patent does not include agents. The LTE standard of the plaintiff's necessary patents do not have any problems in this case, so the available technology shall be considered. According to the facts we have gathered, the defendants ask that the plaintiff accuses the defendant's infringement in the technical plan.
From July 2011, Huawei started negotiation with Samsung. Till now, this already experienced 6 years. The plaintiff Huawei during the negotiation is in line with laws and regulations. And Samsung, during the process of getting the licensee, has obvious mistakes not in line with the laws and regulations. The plaintiff, Huawei, try to get the support from attribution and the court to solve the issue with Samsung and did not postpone the negotiation for purpose. So the court is support the facts. The defendant Samsung, its Chinese subsidiaries, and the Tianjin subsidiaries, Tianjin, Guizhou-based subsidiaries.
华人民共和国侵权责任法第6条第1款、第15条第1款第1项、中华人民共和国专利法。
So Huawei filed a lawsuit against Samsung, 2 units in China, one in Tianjin, one in Guizhou.
经本院审委会讨论，判决如下。请全体起立。
Regarding the 4G technology usage. Now, the final judgment is pronounced. Please all be raised. First, the defendant Samsung China Investment Co. Limited, Tianjin Samsung Telecommunication Technology Company, Guizhou Samsung Electronics Company should stop manufacturing, selling the products that infringe the patent owned by Huawei. Immediately. Shenzhen Yunhe Technology Company should stop the activities that violate the intellectual laws, especially the patent infringement. And the copy of judgment will be filed in Supreme Court at Guangdong Province. And this is the end of the judgment.